Hey, welcome to my channel. Today's video is all about revision and how you can use revision in order to bring your ex back into your life if you are struggling with a circumstance issue. On one hand, you know that circumstances don't matter, but on the other hand, you can't get past something that was said, a conversation that you had with your ex before it ended. It could have been somewhere you were, or a situation, or generally it's like a phone call or a text that you had. Things were said. You can't move past that, so you can't manifest because you're stuck with that circumstance feeling like, but he or she said this. So let me first of all just describe what revision does, what it is and what it isn't. You are not trying to change the past. You are not trying to convince yourself, your rational brain, that the past happened a different way. What you are doing is giving your subconscious another version of events. And then when that is impressed on your subconscious, what will happen is your subconscious will start to think that that was the event that happened, but your rational brain will also start to feel like that event, that sort of new version will feel truer than the real version. But you will know, of course you will know, this is not about convincing yourself that something different happened. It's all about the subconscious. And as we all know, subconscious is everything. And that is what, our brain controls our subconscious, but then our subconscious is what is responsible for the way that everything unfolds for us, the way that we see reality. So if we can trick it, really, into believing that something else happened, into feeling like something else happened, we are giving ourselves another reference point, a new reference point to manifest your ex. So it's not blocked. Basically, what you're doing is shifting your blockage because you have this block because something was said. And I'm going to tell you about one of my members. We're working with this at the moment, and also something that I did involving somebody else. It wasn't a manifestation for me, although it was because it was kind of affecting me, but it was a manifestation for somebody else. Healing a rift, basically, that seemed like it was really stuck, basically. But first of all, I will tell you about my member. She doesn't want me to mention her name, so I won't do that, but she's happy for me to give the details. So we talked about revision basically because when people get really, really stuck and I can't move them any other way, I can't seem to, do it with sort of letting go and releasing that attachment another way, and they're stuck with a circumstance issue. This is where revision comes in. But you just need to get the right end of the stick with revision and not sort of put too much pressure on yourself with it. So we decided to use revision because she was stuck because she's been split up from her ex for 6 months, and he said to her on the last phone call, "Don't contact me again. If you do, I will block you. I just want to move on." And she cannot get past that bit. And she's more can't get past the bit where he said, "I just want to move on," because she feels, what if he has moved on? She's been really good. She hasn't looked at any of his social media, which is amazing. Really, it's the best thing that you can do is avoid their social media. But he lives 60 miles away, so they don't have mutual friends, so she doesn't have that issue. So she's kept well away, so she doesn't know what's going on. She got to the point where she thought maybe I should look at social media, but then she got scared of seeing him with somebody else and setting her completely back. So we are using revision. So she is revising the last conversation she had with him. So instead of him saying, "Don't contact me anymore, if you do, I'll block you, I want to move on," he didn't say that. He said, "Let's give it a break. Let's see how we feel in a few months." This is how the conversation changed, because what I also say with revision is make it something that you believe that person could possibly say or have said. It's much easier to do that. And I said, "Could he have said this?" And she said, "Well, yeah, because actually what happened was the conversation just got out of hand. She started a huge row and it just blew up." So he probably said that in the heat of the moment anyway. Even in a rational sense, he probably didn't mean it. He said it at that time. If I was talking about this on a relationship writer basis, which I am as well, nothing to do with the law of attraction, that's what I would say. He probably didn't mean it. It was a heat of the moment thing, and he probably thought, "Oh God, I've said it now, can't go back." You just don't know what's going on inside of another person's head, so don't try and guess. That's what I would say there. Anyway, so yes, she does believe that he would say that. So this is the technique that we are using, and then I will tell you about how I manifested something for somebody else, given the fact that the circumstance was not mine, it was theirs, but they kept telling me about the negative circumstances and I kept hearing it. So it's difficult then to manifest when you keep being pummeled with the reality. So I did use revision and I resolved that issue. So here's the technique that I used, and this is the technique that me and my member are working to now. And let me just say that she is really excited about this. She's really got into it and she's enjoying it. And she just said, whatever, it's worth a go. It's the best attitude to have. So for me, it was somebody else that had a falling out with somebody else. I don't want to mention any names here, but over the phone, and this phone call had happened and things had been said and they seemed unresolvable from both points of view. I wanted to sort that out for them. So I did. I re-scripted the conversation that they had as I would have liked it to have been, as I needed it to be to move forward with it. And then for 5 nights in a row, I imagined that conversation as if they were having that conversation. Then I went to manifesting or intending a new phone call where they would make up. Then I did 5 more nights of the imagining the phone call that I had made up in my head. Okay, and 2 days later, at the end I did then do a manifestation. I did then intend for that makeup phone call again, and it was 2 days later, and that came, and they're made up. Who knows how long that will be for, but for now, all is good, and it was pretty much as I had imagined from what was relayed back to me. So it does work. To be honest, everything works really if you can get in the right mindset, and I just thought, it's a good technique for me to use, especially as I'm teaching it to people. So this is how I'm working with my member. She's done the 5 days. She's done the new intention of the new text or message coming in, the contact coming in. She's now on the 2nd week, so the next sort of 5 days. I am pretty much, she could do it now, but I'm thinking we've sort of given it like 28 days because, I didn't have attachment. It was neither here nor there to me really, if they made up or not, the people that I was doing it for. Neither here nor there. Well, it did have some effect on me, but it wasn't going to be the end of the world for me. So obviously she has this attachment issue, but she does say to me that she is getting to feel this new version is actually the real version. And another good thing to do when you're doing these revision techniques is to say to yourself, revision always works for me. Every time I revise something and change it, it works for me. My subconscious takes it on board and I manifest quicker, because you can intend everything, absolutely anything. So remember that. It's always good to add that in, throw that into the mix, you might as well. So that is how revision works. It's a form of self-hypnosis, basically. I have had hypnotherapy in the past, and I didn't think it had particularly done anything. I enjoyed the sessions, but I thought, I don't really see what it's done. I feel the same, I thought, but that was up here, you see. And I said to the lady that was doing it for me, I just don't feel that I'm taking half of this stuff in that you're saying. When I'm led on the couch and you're doing the bit at the end, it's gamma reprogramming I had. I don't feel like I'm really taking it in. She said, that doesn't matter. That's your rational mind. That doesn't have to take it in. Your subconscious will be, so don't worry about that. And I thought, right, okay. And actually I had changed, but I didn't realise until a situation arose and I handled it completely different than I would have handled it. And this was a few years ago. So I totally get the subconscious and how that works and how it is possible to reprogram it without realising that you've done it until something happens, and then you think, oh wow, yeah, and then you realise that you've done it. Sometimes now I can feel a shift within, but then I try to notice it. So it doesn't matter if you don't notice anything. It doesn't mean it hasn't worked. It just means that you don't need to do that. You don't have to feel anything as you're doing this particularly. If you do feel something, that's nice, but you don't have to. Don't, because I talk a lot about feelings, but this is not really, you will be getting that vibration and that frequency will be being emitted. And another thing about revision is because you keep it short, you can stay very focused and it's much easier not to let other thoughts pop in there. So as you are revising the scene, just make it a short one, and then as you are visualising it, make it a short one. Otherwise you'll ramble off the point and you will lose that vibration. So what you are looking for when you're doing this is the vibration, the feeling that's going into your subconscious. It's not really the words, language is just something that helps us with feeling. It's the feeling, not the words. So that's what happens, and that's how you have a different reference point. Your subconscious has a different reference point to work from. So it doesn't have this huge block where it thinks, oh, but this happened, because it doesn't think that's gone. It now thinks this happened, this new story happened. But like I said, you up here don't have to believe it. It's not, as you're doing it, you don't have to think, oh, I've got to believe this for it to work. You don't. Honestly, you don't. As I was having my hypnosis, I didn't particularly think it was working. I just did it because I got a free trial because the lady that did it was used to be at a business club meeting that I went to, so she did me one for free, and I was fascinated with it. I'd had hypnotherapy before, which didn't work at all, and I thought, oh, gamma reprogramming, that sounds interesting. So I went along just for fun, and then I had 3 sessions after that. I mean, I did have some things that I was working on, but this was quite a long time ago, and I'd only just started to get into the law of attraction then. But it did work for me, but I didn't consciously know that it had worked. So hope this was useful. If you haven't subscribed, then I would love for you to do that. I write books. Pop along to my website and see what books are available there. Get Back with Your Ex, Degrees of Attachment, Wishful Thinking, they're all there, and they'll point you to Amazon. I have a members coaching area, which is £5 a month, comes with a ton of modules. You get 4 new modules every single week. They're videos, they're written modules, all kinds of different stuff, affirmations, and also you get one-to-one coaching too with that via email. I can only do it via email now, but you do get that in with that £5 a month. So use it whichever way suits you. Some people just use it as a coaching tool and don't bother so much with the modules because they're suffering attachment, so they don't want to keep reading different stuff. Although I've got lots on dealing with attachment in there, lots of specific person stuff in there, energy-based working stuff, energy-based stuff. So yeah, pop along and have a look. And there's an explainer video which I do need to update slightly because, you know, things progress and move on and evolve, and I really do need to update that video, but it's pretty much as I say on that explainer video. So, and if you haven't heard of my son's channel, Harrison Ellis, he's new to, he's not new to Law of Attraction, but he's new to YouTube, Law of Attraction on YouTube. That's Harrison Ellis, and there's a link to that down below. And people have asked me, was that his surname, Ellis? But no, it's not. Ellis is his middle name, so Harrison is his name. I call him Harry. I always refer to him as Harry. I never call him Harrison, very rarely, but he's actually, Harrison is his actual name. Anyway, not that that's it's all relevant, but a few of you have asked, that's all. So anyway, thank you for watching.